On Facebook. So hello everybody. I'm streaming in multiple places, Facebook here, Instagram here. I'm going to try to spread my love equally. We're actually on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. What else? Something, I don't know. Guys, I got like almost 100,000 views on YouTube in like 3 months using YouTube Shorts. It's crazy, but we're not here to talk about that. I got some really awesome YouTube content coming, long form videos, as well as my podcast, top 1% ranked podcast in the world, that we are now rebranding and retransitioning to the Storypreneur podcast to talk about all things persuasion and helping you communicate your message and your offer in a way that enrolls people in it and gets them to buy what you have while increasing your confidence as you speak. Okay, so I appreciate you all being here. I want to talk about a very particular, a very critical piece of information that you absolutely must know if you want to persuade your audience to do something. Some of you may be thinking, well, I'm not in this persuasion thing. Well, chances are you have to persuade your kids to go to bed at a certain time. Chances are you have to persuade a coworker to do something that you want them to do. Chances are you have to persuade your boss to give you a raise. You're always persuading somebody. Listen, we are all in the business of moving people. This is what the book To Sell is Human by Daniel Pink taught me. We're all in the business of selling people. And I want to share with you something today that not many people are talking about, but will make the difference in helping you persuade people. Whether that be buy a product or a service, whether that means that when they listen to you speak, they go off and buy the books you recommend, whatever. And the secret that I want to talk to you about is this. I'm going to put it to you this way. Let's say somebody told you that you were going to be able to jump off of, okay, I'll put it to you this way. Let's say somebody told you to jump out of a plane and they said, you know what, Devin, I think it's true. I think it's safe. And you say it is safe. You're going to jump out of a plane. I'm going to give you a parachute. You're going to be good to go. You're going to be good. Don't worry. When you jump out of the plane, you're going to be okay. And they say, okay. And you say, you ready? You ready to jump out of the plane? And they're like, wait, like, how do I know it's safe? And you say, just trust me, just trust me, just trust me. You're going to be fine. You're going to be safe. You're going to be safe. And they say, no, I don't want to jump out of the plane. And you say, why? And they say, I just don't know if it's safe. And you say, whatever, you suck. You don't know what you're losing out on. And the person don't jump out the plane. But then there's another person who says, hey, you want to jump out of the plane? The person says, hell no, I'm terrified. You say, it's all right, man. Listen, you're going to have a parachute. And the person still says, I know, but like, it's kind of scary, isn't it? He says, yeah, man, it's scary, but the parachute's going to work. And the person says, okay, but I still don't really want to. The person says, okay, man, to prove to you that this is safe, I'm going to show you how it's done. I'm going to prove it to you that it's safe. And he jumps out of the plane, opens the parachute, lands safely. Now the person says, wow, I guess it really is safe. Now I'm going to do it. And he jumps out of the plane and he does what the person wanted him to do. Why did I share this analogy with you? Here's why. In order for you to persuade, in order for you to sell more of what you have, in order for you to move people, the first thing that you have to do is to create an emotionally safe environment. I'm going to say that again. In order for you to persuade your audience, to sell your course, to buy your program, to do anything, the first thing you have to do is create an emotionally safe environment. Why is this not working too well? Okay, there we go. Now, how do we do that? How do we create this emotionally safe environment? Well, the analogy that I just gave you, in order for the person to jump out of the plane, the person that told him to jump first had to do it himself. The person that just said jump, but didn't show him how to do it in the first place, well, he didn't get the person to jump. And in a similar way, in order for you to create an emotionally safe environment, what you have to do is first show that person what emotionally safe looks like. And how you do that is twofold. Two things I want to touch on today that I think are vitally important in terms of creating an emotionally safe environment. See, here's the thing. People will always buy on emotion and justify with logic, right? We've heard that so many times. But what we have to do is give people the space to open up emotionally to us. And you're thinking, well, Devin, how do I do that if there's an audience of 100 people? See, there's something that happens when there's an audience. Let me rephrase. There's something that happens when there's a crowd, because there's a big difference between an audience and a crowd. You should want to speak so that when people listen to you, they transform from an audience into a crowd. The main differentiator is that an audience, the individuals in that audience, they still have their individual mind. But a crowd loses their individuality. And they form one collective mind. Now you're saying, Devin, why would I want that? Because you know that what you have will change people's lives. And if people stay individuals, they will allow the negative thinking, limiting beliefs, and who they've always been to determine who they will become. So you need to control the audience and make them one whole. This is an opinion of mine, of course. But yet, of course, the person will still keep their individuality, right? I'm not talking about no, I'm not talking about getting these people to blindlessly follow you. I'm talking about leading them, because they need a leader to show them how to make a decision that will change their lives. So, in order to create the emotionally safe environment, you first have to be emotional with the audience. And what I mean by this is twofold. Two things that you must do in order to get your audience to be emotionally invested in your message. Because people will only buy what you have, be persuaded by you, if they feel emotionally connected to you. The way that you do that, number one, is by practicing authenticity. Now, Devin, such a cliche term. This is how I define authenticity. I got it from one of my mentors, who's called the Webinar King, Jason Fladlin. He said, Devin, authenticity is nothing more than being more of who you already are. Authenticity is being more of who you already are. Can I encourage someone in here tonight? If you try to be somebody else, the best you're going to be is second place. I think Dr. Seuss put it best. He said that today you are you. That is truer than true. There is nobody in the world that is youer than you. So be you. Here is what I have discovered to be the key. You have to magnify a portion of your personality. There's a portion of your person. For me, it's my energy. I magnify my energy. I play with my inflections. I go really high and I go really low. So I magnify this portion of my personality. For you, it might be that you're rough around the edges. Magnify that. For you, it might be that you have a really soft tone, but every word that comes out of your mouth is powerful. It might be that you're a bit rebellious when you speak. It might be that you're not politically correct. Whatever it is, magnify it. Why? Because we live in a crowded marketplace, and you need to identify your difference. And you being able to be authentic, which we define as being more of who you already are, and magnifying a portion of your personality, which as a result is you literally being more of who you already are. That's being authentic. And when you're authentic, this is the greatest thing about it. When you become and portray more of who you already are and magnify a portion of your personality, and you step into your truth as you speak, as you present, as you communicate, you subconsciously give permission to the audience, the people sitting in front of you, the person sitting across from you on the phone, on Zoom. You give permission to them to step into who they are. You give permission to them to magnify their personality. You give permission to them to be more of who they are. That's what people are dying for. They're dying, they're struggling, they're screaming silently for somebody who will finally allow them to be their true selves. And when you practice authenticity, you subconsciously give permission to people to show up as who God called them to be. Because let's be real, so many times we put on this facade of who we wish God created us to be, and we walk around with that. But here's the thing, people will never allow you to persuade them. Maybe they will. Okay, maybe sometimes they will, but we want to do it the right way. So the way we persuade people is allowing them to step into our world being 100% them. But the only way we can get them to be them is if we first be us. Oh, this is deep stuff tonight. I don't even know. I've been up since 4 o'clock. I mean, come on now. Come on. This is how you move people. This is how you sell products and services. This is how you take your life to the next level. A lot of studying, my peoples. The second thing that I want to share with you in terms of creating an emotionally safe environment is that not only do you have to be authentic, number 2, you have to get people to open up. The only way you open up is if you first open up. See, here's the thing, guys. You can never expect somebody to do something that you've never done. Or you can never expect somebody to do something that you're not doing. Imagine going to the gym, you wanted a personal trainer, but the fat guy comes up to you. Man, I got you. I'm going to be your personal trainer. But then in the corner, you see the guy that's ripped. You see the girl, she got the booty. She looking good, right? She looking good. You're like, no, I don't want him who looks like he just left McDonald's. I want her. She is snatched, my sister. Now, why do you want her? Because she's already done what you want to do. Subconsciously, we do not follow people who we subconsciously do not believe have done what we are being asked to do. Very interesting stuff. So how do we get people to open up? How do we get people to be vulnerable? Which is the second way to create an emotionally safe environment, is to create an environment of vulnerability. The first way to get people to be vulnerable is what? To be vulnerable yourself. The way that you do this is you share with the audience the struggles you've been through. You share with them the darkest times that you've been through. You share with them the things that you don't want other people to see because you think it might make you look bad. You share with the audience the things that hurt you. You share with the audience the things that didn't make sense to you. You open up to the audience. But here's a caveat with that. You have to remember that whenever you're presenting to an audience, it is not a therapy session. It is an empowerment session. So the key point here is you never share a story that you stand in. You only share stories that you stand on. Meaning a story that I stand in is something that I haven't gotten over. It's something that still troubles me. It's something that I can't get over it. And the key point is I haven't found the lesson within it. When you stand on a story, it's not that you haven't gone through something, but it's that you found a way to extract the lesson and see how it's made you a better person. And that's what you share with the audience. But as I often say, it's honestly not as much what you say, but it's how you say it. I could say, I had such a rough time in my life. This thing happened. It made me so sad. I started to cry and I was so sad. Doesn't really impact. But if I say something like, yeah, there was this time in my life where nothing was going right. It just seemed like whatever I tried, I just failed. And it made me feel worthless inside. Have any of you ever felt that? Like, no matter how hard you worked, you just felt worthless? And deep down inside, I asked myself these questions like, will it ever work? Is this actually what you're meant to? So you guys get it. The tone of voice. Your voice is the greatest tool you have. So I just wanted to talk to you all tonight about how to create an emotionally safe environment. And we create that emotionally safe environment, number one, by creating an environment of authenticity. And then number two, creating an environment of vulnerability. But the only way that we can create that environment is if we first exude those things ourselves. So we give permission to people to be authentic when we are authentic. We give people permission to be vulnerable when we first be vulnerable. Because we can never expect someone to do something that we haven't first done ourselves or that we're not currently doing. So I hope you guys found this valuable tonight. I'll catch you on the next stream.